Assalamualaikum and greetings to friends and Madam Shahida. Today, me and Mahira and Uzai will present about the material that we make in TSLB 3063. Next slide. Today's Today we will explain about the material, how to use it, the impact of material on English skills,
Ya Allah
how the
Constitution.
material align with the criteria in the SKP which are HOTS and active learning, 21st century skills which are team player and inform, and the last one is cross-curricular element which are values and global sustainability. Next slide. First, I will show you about the material. This is the material that we use for task 1. So we make use of essay about celebrations in Malaysia, and pupils need to read the essay and answer the crosswords given in the last page of the worksheet. Next slide. Okay, how to use our material? Let's dig deeper. The first one is pupils need to read the essay about the celebration thoroughly. And then in the teacher will assign the pupils in pairs. In pairs, they need to highlight the targeted grammar focus. For us, for example, possessive adjective or possessive pronouns. So in the essay, we already included the possessive adjectives and the possessive pronouns in the essay, and pupils need to highlight it. In this context, pupils will be using higher order thinking skills, which is applying, which they need to apply the knowledge the knowledge in the essay, the knowledge they have in the essay. After that, after highlighting the targeted grammar focus, they will finish the crossword given to test their reading comprehension and reading ability. This is important because this is to gauge their understanding of the essay and to observe their progression. The last one is the teacher will check and observe students' progress, and the highlighted words will be used in activities that require writing, listening, and speaking skills. Next. So Uzair will be present for the next part.
Okay, thank you, and Mahira for presenting about the previous part. So now move on to the impact of materials on English skills. So in designing or in coming up with our teaching material, we actually have gone through a lot of things. And one of the things that I've gone through is actually we want to focus our teaching materials to four skills, which are the writing, listening, speaking, and readings. So that's our aims or our objective in the progress in our in making our teaching materials. So here there are two main focus skills, which are reading and writing skills from the materials at our teaching material focus on. But the material can be modified to suit with other skills such as the speaking and listening skills. So this is what we call as our specialty in our teaching materials, because we are not only limited to only two skills, but we actually adapt our teaching materials to actually suit with other skills as well. For example, like I explained before, which are the speaking and the listening skills. So this material is well rounded where it can be adjusted to focus on all the essential skills. So if the teacher want to focus on the reading skills, which means that he or she can actually adjust our teaching materials to actually suits or to actually suit with the reading skills. So that's our specialty on the teaching materials, which is we can actually adapt or modify our teaching materials into the essential skills. Move on to the next slides. In the email, students need to highlight the possessive adjectives and pronouns that contain in the text. So as explained by Ain Mahira just now, is that in the email or in the paragraph or in the essay, that the students need actually highlight the possessive adjective or pronouns that have been identified by them. And then from what they have highlighted, they can actually come up with speaking and listening activity. So the specialty of our teaching materials is actually can adapt or modify as I explained before. And from the highlighted words or highlighted possessive adjective and pronouns, they can actually come up with an activity that can actually benefit them in terms of their other skills. For example, like students need to speak a sentence that contain the highlighted words, and others need to jot down when what they have listened to. So here, students, he or she needs to build a sentence based on the highlighted words that the students have. And from when they have built the sentence, they have to speak out to their friends or to their other classmates for them to actually listen to the ideas or their sentence from what they have highlighted in the text or in the essay. So here we can actually see that there are actually combinations of the speaking skills and also the listening skills shown by the classmate in jotting down what they have listened to. And the students are tested in the skills of uttering the words, which is speaking skills. And also they have to listen attentively, which indicate listening skills. So when they are speaking, of course, the one of the criteria which is they have to actually focus on the uttering the words. So speaking skills and uttering the words is closely related. So in our teaching materials, the teachers can actually adapt or modify it to actually suits their needs, which they want to focus on the skills. And of course, the students they have to listen attentively because in listening skills, it's very important for them to actually listen attentively because it will make them to have a better understanding or better knowledge on what is actually they listens to. So that's what call it as the determinants to the success of the use of the teaching materials. So the material has been modified to focusing on the speaking and listening skills, as what I explained before. And the material focus on writing as students need to write their answer in the blank boxes in the browser where it tests their accuracy in writing the answer correctly. So as well as explained before, the our teaching materials can be adapt, can be a speaking, it can be listening activity, and also it can be a writing activity. So that's what we call it the impacts on the English skills. Move on to the next slide. We will be discussing about the how the material align with the criteria in the SKP. So we have to look into this criteria, which are the first one will be the HOTS, which are the critique and raising, and second one will be the active learning. So as we know that we are currently in the 21st century era where we want to create students that actually not depending on the context only, but actually depending on the come on. Okay, that's actually the idea that we want to include in our teaching materials. And okay, move on to the next
I'm
slides.
sorry.
We were
I'm
discussing
sorry,
about the
Uzai, to
HOTS,
interrupt.
creating or analyzing.
But can you explain again about HOTS?
Can see. Yes. Okay, can we proceed?
Yes, we can.
Okay, okay. Now we're just discussing about the analyzing parts that we include in our teaching materials. So from our teaching material, from the crossword puzzle, especially, students need to analyze the questions in determining the suitable answer to it. So from the crossword puzzle, of course, there are a lot of questions that we need to, or the students need to answer. And the first step or the first way for them to actually answer, of course, they need to analyze the questions. They need to analyze, for example, like firstly, they need to analyze the questions to which celebration the questions belong to and in which category. So there are a lot of category in the questions. It can be the question asked about the foods and can be the question asked about the traditional clothes. So the student must be able to analyze to actually to know that what category or their answer must be. And then they need to decide the best answer that suits with the boxes in the puzzles. And lastly, they need to make sure that whether the answer is related or not with the question. Of course, in answering questions, of course, we must make sure that our answer is related. And if our answer is not related, which means that we are not able to answer it successfully. And that's what we call it as the analyzing part of the HOTS in our teaching materials. And then move on to the creating part. After they have completed the puzzles, the student have to create a song based on the topic of the celebrations. This tests their creative skill as they need to adhere to the contents in the celebration they have chosen, or sometimes suits the content into a song. So this is actually what we call that test the students in terms of their creating skills. Okay, basically they have got the knowledge or they've got the facts or the content from their reading and also from the crossword puzzles. So what they have to do now is that they have to translate or they have to convert their understanding into a song. But the thing is that quite difficult here is that they must adhere to the contents. They cannot actually put something is not reliable or unrelated into the song. For example, like if they choose Hari Raya Aidilfitri as the celebrations they want to have in their song, so they need to include facts or contents about the celebration into the song according to their creativity. So this is actually what we call that the criteria in HOTS or higher order thinking skills, which are the analyzing or creating that we have actually included in our teaching materials. Moving on to the next slide, maybe
Okay. Next is this material will require pupils to be an active learner. To be an active learner because it is an active learning. This is because students are in a group where they need to work together to come up with answers. They need to discuss to each other their thoughts of each questions, and students will give reasons or support to their choice of answer which they think the most suitable with the questions. And the material promotes active learning as it shows continuous interaction between students in group in order to come with the best answer. This is because students are continuously interact with each other to find answer, and because they need to discuss and share their thoughts to their friends. This makes the learning process is an active learning itself. This is because when we solve crossword puzzle activity, we need to discuss with our friends. We will have like we will share our experience, we will share our thoughts and opinions about what is the best answer for this question and that question. So that is why it is an active the material itself will require one to be an active learner. Next. So for the 21st century skills, how the material align with the 21st century skills in the DSKP? First is team player. Students are able to work with each other. Each person is responsible for helping to finish the task, and everyone should listen to each other's idea. Pupils have to work in pairs on this material, so it will assist them in learning how to lead and work as a team. This material meets the DSKP requirements for the team player aspect of 21st century skills. This is because um, in finishing the material which is the essay read the essay and answer the crosswords, um, we as a teacher will assign them in pairs, so they each of them is responsible for finishing the task, and everyone should listen to each other's idea. So this requires one to be a team player, which is a 21st century, which is one of the 21st century skills. Next is inform. The material is about celebrations all around the world. This helps pupils to obtain knowledge and gain a broad balanced understanding of them all when reading the essay. This includes understanding the culture and tradition of each celebration. Eventually, it will help pupils in respecting every culture. This is because the essay itself is about the celebrations in Malaysia, and it's not only happen in Malaysia, it's also happen in the other countries like America, Arab, uh, Emirates, um, and many countries like Eid is not only happen in Malaysia, right? Everyone will celebrate. Everyone all around the world will celebrate Eid. So, when pupils read it, they will read it critically to understand the content of the essay and to answer the crossword. So when they read critically to understand, they will realize that they will have a knowledge about they will widen their scopes of knowledge about celebration. That is not only it's not only on the they will be informed and have gain a broad balanced understanding of them all when reading the essay. This eventually will help pupils in respecting every culture, in which they will understand about the difference of each culture. Next slide. So for the next one is cross-curricular element, which are global sustainability and values. Next. Okay, so for the first is cross-curricular element, which is value. Values are taught in each subject so that pupils know how important they are and act on them. Values include aspects of spirituality, kindness, and being a good citizen that they should live by every day. For the crossword to be solved correctly, students will need to read about and understand each celebration. Students need to read the essay critically and understand each celebration. This would help them develop a stronger sense of being a good citizen in their daily lives. Okay, so why it can happen? Why by reading and doing this activity would help them develop a strong sense of being a good citizen in their daily lives? This is because this is from point of view. Okay, let's say understanding how traditional Indian food is made, like the gulab jamun and murku, yeah, that have been explained in the essay. The name of food like gulab jamun will be known to the students. This will help them respect the food and not make fun of the name. So this is why it will help to develop. It will help them develop a strong sense of being a good citizens. In Malaysia, students will be able to understand that not only Malay people go to mosque to pray, but also Indian people do the same. This would raise their awareness of each culture, see what reading can do to a person. In the long run, this will help them become more empathetic and accepting people of other backgrounds, since they will have a greater appreciation for the unique contributions that each culture makes to the world. So this is what cross-curricular element means, that is focused on values, that it helps people to appreciate and to raise their awareness of each culture. Next, Uzai will present about the global sustainability.
The global sustainability. These materials promote global sustainability as it leads students to be more aware of the celebration around the world and not limited in Malaysia. So in the making of the teaching materials, we want the students to have more than one perspective. Which we don't want the students to have perspective is only in our country only, but we want the students to have perspective outside of the box or in a wider perspective. Or some of the students may not realize how influential the celebration is until they figure out the celebration is widely celebrated across the globe. And maybe when we enter the classroom, maybe some of the students, or I think most of the students, they don't know that the celebration is actually what is celebrated across the globe. For example, like maybe like Chinese New Year, they only know that, or maybe Chinese New Year is only celebrated widely in China only. But the fact is that Chinese New Year is celebrated across the globe, whether you are Chinese or not. For example, like in the email or in the essay, it brings awareness to the students about Chinese New Year when they read the paragraph about it. And then they know that in China, the people is not only celebrating Chinese New Year, but Christmas is also celebrated there. So here is the examples that we can actually see that in the peoples or in the students, they have the awareness actually when using our materials, they will realize that our celebration is not only limited to only a certain country, but it is actually across the globe. This teaches them the awareness that a celebration is not limited to only one for each country, but the celebration should be varied. So they will be sharing about the cultures of each celebrations. So the closest example to us is our country, Malaysia. So our country Malaysia have a lot of cultures. We have a lot of celebration, Hari Raya Fitri, Diwali, Christmas, and so on. So we actually know that there will be a sharing about the culture when the celebration comes. And it is also the same thing happens across the globe where the people from all kind of races, all walk of life will gather together in the celebrations to actually celebrate it. So this shows that the materials students in terms of increasing the awareness about the celebration around the world. So the awareness about the celebration is actually important as it helps to increase their appreciations of the celebrations around the world. When they have the awareness, they will be more appreciates about the celebration and they will have more knowledge or broad knowledge about the cultures of the celebrations around the world. Okay, so that's all for the presentation of the yeah. So I think that's all from us. Thank you very much.
Thank you.